everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Steelers going up against the 49ers. With that, let's get out to Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. On the call, here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the home of Super Bowl 50, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Francisco 49ers. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. They'll run the option left. And some room to maneuver. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Let's go! Green, 39! Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that'll be incomplete. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. This is Bell on the dump off. Sheds a second man.
He's building up some momentum, isn't he?
They give him 12 yards and a first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and this will remain a scoreless game. That opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Let's go. 190. 190.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack. And on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he connects with Vance McDonald. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Let's go. What? 90. Hey. What? 90.
They'll look to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. An encroachment penalty here, maybe just a mental lapse, partner.
Sometimes you have to just watch the football. Make sure it's snapped before you're jumping.
Still 2nd down.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
Here we go. Brand 38.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that's caught. Did he stay in bounds, though? He did not. Ruled incomplete.
That's a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more.
7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
Now, that's disappointing for the defense. They had the advantage, had excellent coverage all over the field, but they let him get away, scramble, and pick up a 1st down and inside the 5-yard line.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. The play clock's running down. He'll drop to throw. And he floats one there, incomplete. Des Bryant, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. second down, Freeman. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Devontae Freeman, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Niners have taken the early lead. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
No matter what defense is called versus a running play, linebackers are telling the defensive guys up front, you take care of the offensive line, keep us uncovered, let us run to the ball, we'll make big plays. Well, that paid off there. All the guys up front, the big fellas, they controlled the 5 offensive linemen. That allowed the linebackers to see the openings, sprint through the gap, and snuff that play out in a hurry.
To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, decided to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds.
And that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sidelines since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision. I know it's the first half, but it's still hard to curb the enthusiasm for that stop. 3rd and 1, and the offense can't get there. The defensive team has got to feel very good about themselves. Great job out-leveraging the offense.
He'll return it from the 6.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So the flag is for roughing the kicker, a big 15-yard penalty.
And I'm not sure that was the time to go all out after the kicker. Plenty of time left in this game.
They'll look to throw here on first down. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
This is Bell, and he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brad, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Will the defense dial up the pressure? Let's see. 3rd and 11. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's got Rodgers. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. They'll go back to the ground with Bell. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4. Defensively, Jimmy Ward in on the stop.
No, that wasn't an explosive run. That wasn't one that took it all the way to the house. But, boy, for a team that's had trouble running it the entire game, that's the kind of run they need, hopefully, to get themselves kick-started.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Goes underneath for Bell. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. He completes it to Bryant. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Martavis Bryant, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
A 10-play drive that time, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make the play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They'll look to throw. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what we call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Taken from just outside the 30. He had one man to beat. It takes a touchdown-saving tackle to bring him down. And this offense set up nicely with what looks to be a 1st and goal right around the 10-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on 1st down.
That gave them a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on 1st down.
Bryant, the lone receiver, left. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Trying here for Bryant, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll bring it all the way back, just a yard or two shy of midfield. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense,
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted. All right, partner, let's go back over the last couple of plays. Sack, loss of yards on a running play. Not exactly the sequence that an offensive coordinator gets comfortable with when calling plays.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 54 yards.
I know they had good coverage downfield, but you have to wonder, on 3rd and long like that, how does that happen, that they can get that far downfield and complete a pass? You got to guard the sticks, understand where you are, so it's almost like someone fell asleep at the switch, and now that the play's been completed, they've got to dust themselves off on defense, pick it up, and figure out how to not let that happen again.
False start, offense.
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. So now it's 1st and goal. And they'll give it to him here. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
They'll try again with Bell. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And Lutz's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So a good kick that time, and he's able to redeem himself from the previous miss.
And fortunately for him, he got the chance to do that not long after missing the first time. Sometimes a whole game goes by, and you don't get that chance at all. So you keep it with you till the next time you take the field.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it?
And there's your standard issue draw play. I like it a lot better when it's actually been set up.
Come on, let's go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And it looks like this will likely be the last play before we hit the 2-minute warning.
Let's see if they can sneak one more good play in before the 2-minute signal.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. My good friend Charles and I right back at you after this. Back now. As I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Well read.
Well, thank you. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run. The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Let's go. Brad 38. Brad 38.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
Come on, let's go. 1-9.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Smith catches left side. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Looking to throw, and it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Bryant spread out to the right.
Green 39. Green 39.
They'll look to throw here. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Second down following the incompletion.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one. And on 3rd and 3, they decided to go with a dime package. 6 DBs.
Yeah, you're right. They've got 6 out there. He'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. A pickup of 5 that time and a first down. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a first down.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. So we've reached halftime here. Never mind, Larry, forget your halftime report. Apparently, we are set for the third quarter of action already. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Steelers defense, we watch them get set to go. They had a pretty solid first half. Not many adjustments, but I guess there's probably always some adjustments that can be made.
Usually it's just tightened down on the things we've worked on all week in practice. Everyone thinks adjustments are bringing in something absolutely new. For the most part, it's tweaks or just emphasizing what you've worked on already. And that's what they're planning to do here in the second half.
They won't be looking to reinvent the wheel. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Crashing in from the end there, not to disrupt the pass game, but to disrupt the run game.
Yeah, I love the distinction, too, because the good defensive ends, they can do it all. Set the edge in the run game, make sure that no one can move it that way, and, of course, rush the passer. On that play, use his speed to get there in the run game.
Back to throw. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. Wow, evasive.
Make a miss.
And he is finally out of bounds, but not before taking it down inside the 30.
Offense.
Third down and 3. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. They run. Devontae Freeman. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
They'll look to throw. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll bring up a third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he'll take this into into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Offense.
It's one of those ones that is so hard to judge, but defensive holding there, that's what the referee saw. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Some pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it. And in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
They'll put two receivers left, two to the right. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Over the middle to Smith. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And it's 4th and 4.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball.
We get a look now at the 49ers defense as they get into position. They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Whenever I go to a team's practice facility and watch them work, I love to watch the defensive guys in what they call pursuit drills. The ball goes either towards them or away from them. How fast will they respond? On this play, the defensive end responded better than anyone and made a really nice play.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. On the right side, caught by Green. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Taking it about the 16. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. Not an ideal spot to be on first down, but I love that the play caller did not immediately abandon the running game and say, okay, we've got to throw it in order to pick it up. Stayed with the run, was rewarded with a big-time pickup. Now they're in second and manageable.
Again, they'll run to Freeman, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Let's go!
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And Boswell's kick is good. And that will knot us up at 10. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Again, it's Bell. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go. And he's back here in the struggle department in this one like he was a week ago. And, partner, I think you can pin some of this on that O-line. The room to run just not there.
You mentioned last week that it felt like the offensive line was getting beaten to the punch by the guys across the ball.
It was pretty evident, I thought.
I mean, they were off the ball fast, penetrating, getting into the offensive backfield, really spilling a lot of runs before they got started. So I thought your observation was spot on then, and you're right there again this week. Same thing is happening, not able to get started because they're not able to control the point of attack.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback.
Back now here in Santa Clara. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Now a first down carry by Bell. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
And caught right side, Green. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front? Creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility.
Now Bell, and little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. 1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 11.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he locates Josh Hill, complete. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Le'Veon Bell, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are going to take the lead.
In as many coaches' meetings as we sit in, we hear the word finish all the time, don't we? And on that play, the back actually finished getting into the end zone, breaking the last tackle. Tried to wrap up, tried to use the proper technique, just wasn't able to get it done.
And he'll bang that one through. And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there for the Niners. 54 yards.
So let's go ahead and add to the difficulties of guys trying to cover receivers. They got to deal with speed, shiftiness, all that stuff. But how about when they have height and length and deep downfield? You throw the ball up in the air. That's how they uncover at the end of a route, by being able to go up over the top and make a big catch.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down. So this is the second consecutive week, as you look at the numbers, that he just doesn't seem to have the same pop as we normally see him with.
Is there an injury we don't know about?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because that's a legitimate question right now. We're used to speed, power, all coming together. And what I've always loved about him is his vision. You know, last week he didn't have that as well. Always thought
he'll be hit and taken down at the 21. Javon Hargrave in there to sack him for a loss of 6. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call. The Steelers insert their nickel defense on 3rd down.
Yeah, they add a DB. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. They find some open field here. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. And the Steelers are in for the touchdown.
No lead safe in the new NFL, but this score is really going to give them some needed breathing room.
Extra point try now for Walsh. And the lead is up to 14. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be fielded at the 8. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves?
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. It's a solid pickup of 11, and it's second down.
Remember how much we enjoyed watching him last week?
It's the same thing this week. Look at those numbers.
I'd hate to be a defender right now, because no matter what they're throwing at him in terms of coverages, he's finding ways to defeat it. And even when he's covered, he's not covered. What is he doing? What's that term they use? He's uncoverable and making big catches. Really fun to watch.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. They'll look to throw now on first down. And his throw here's incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Second down here after the incomplete pass. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. Out left side here to Bryant. Touchdown, 49ers! Dennis Bryant, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the 49ers are back within a score. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way, because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
On second down, it's Bell. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And the defense in desperate need of a stop. They have to get off the field and get the ball back to their offense if they want a chance. Out of the gun now on third down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that'll bring up 4th down on a big sack with a loss of 5. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Take it at the 37. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A good pickup there, a 22. And really just a heck of a catch. That's a really good receiver making a nice play.
And against a really good defensive back. Right there together, and over the top, the receiver wins the battle.
Back to throw. Dancing to his left. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
They'll look to throw. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
An extra DB defensively here. Big stop needed on 3rd and goal.
He may be a blitzer.
He's back to throw. That's caught at the 3. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal.
Let's go! Brian 38! Brian 38!
Gotta try it here. He's back to throw. And it's caught. It's a touchdown. So they rally here in the final minute, and they're an extra point away from tying this game.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. A drive that time of 6 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. Set to go now with the kickoff. These 2 teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. throw here out of the gun. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
I'm fairly sure that there's no good time to cough up the football. But this couldn't be much worse, could it?
No.
This situation, this yard line, no chance.
They set it on a T-form. They're already in field goal range here late in the fourth now.
Yeah, warm up the kicker and just make sure they take care of the ball now. They've got a chance to put this thing away.
It's a give to Freeman running right. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you
now whistles come in, we're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So on now for the field goal try, Chris Boswell. He did. And the Steelers signal for another timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So on now for the field goal try, Chris Boswell. He did have one blocked earlier. This time it's for the win. And it's good. He got it. He missed his lone attempt earlier, but he connects when it matters most. And Union Street will be hopping tonight. The 49ers have won it. Still trying to digest the final moments of the game. What a fantastic drive to win it.
To see the winning team execute, stay calm and in the moment and get it done, it really was a thing of beauty to conclude this game.
So for San Francisco, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back
I wanna